All right, let's pull back the curtain on artificial intelligence. And look, forget all the sci-fi robots for a moment. My goal here is really simple. I want to demystify AI and show you how it's already a huge part of your world. I mean, it's acting as your personal assistant and in some cases, a powerful digital coworker. So let's get right into it. First things first, you are already an expert user of AI. No, seriously, you are. Whether you realize it or not, you interact with it dozens of times a day, probably without even thinking twice about it. Let's just look at a few examples from your day so far. Think about your morning commute. You know when Google Maps or Waze suggests a different route to dodge a slowdown? That wasn't just reacting to a traffic jam that had already happened. Oh no. That was AI analyzing location data from millions of phones, spotting patterns, and predicting congestion before it even fully formed. It's proactive, not just reactive. Or what about that last email or text you sent out? When you typed "tet" and it just instantly became "the." Well, that's a simple but really powerful form of AI at work. See, it's not just a dictionary. It's actually learning from your specific writing patterns. It's like this quiet, invisible assistant helping you communicate a little more clearly. And later tonight, when you're endlessly scrolling through Netflix trying to figure out what to watch, guess what? That's AI again. The platform is analyzing everything. What you watch, when you pause, what you go back and rewatch, and it uses all those patterns to predict what you're going to enjoy next. It's not magic, it's just a really, really smart recommendation engine. So, we've seen AI in action, right? It's in our cars, it's on our phones, it's in our living rooms. Now that we've got a feel for it, let's actually nail down what we're talking about. What is artificial intelligence, really? At its core, this is probably the simplest, most practical definition you can get. AI is just when a machine can do stuff that we usually associate with the human mind. The key thing here is that it's not about consciousness or robots taking over the world. It's all about capability. It's about performing specific, intelligent tasks. That's it. So why the sudden explosion? I mean, why is AI everywhere now? Well, it was basically a perfect storm of four things coming together. First, a data explosion. We started generating just massive amounts of digital data, which is the fuel for AI. Second, computing power got way, way cheaper. So now we could actually process all that fuel. Third, the algorithms themselves, the brains of the operation, got a huge upgrade with things like neural nets. And finally, all that made it super simple to just build AI right into the apps you use every day. Okay, that's all a bit abstract, I get it. So let's make it way more concrete. We're going to look at a real-world business case to see how AI really acts as a force multiplier for a team. I want you to imagine a customer support team at a huge Fortune 200 company. Now imagine this is the number that's staring them down every single morning, a backlog of over 2,000 customer emails. It's just this overwhelming number that never seems to stop growing. So instead of trying to hire dozens of new people, they decided to try something different. They brought in a generative AI assistant, and its job was simple. Read every single incoming email, figure out how urgent it was, summarize the main problem, and then draft a potential reply for the human agent to just review. And the results? It was pretty incredible. In just 3 days, that backlog plummeted from over 2,000 down to just 200. That's a 90% reduction. Think about that. They weren't working harder. They were working so much smarter because they were augmented by AI. And this right here perfectly illustrates the key idea. I want you to think of AI not as some crazy abstract technology, but as this, a digital coworker. It doesn't get tired, it can read thousands of documents in seconds, and it's there for one reason, to scale your brain power so you can focus on the work that actually needs human judgment. You know, that email example really highlights a fundamental shift in how software works. And to really get AI, you've got to understand this core difference between the old way and the new way. It's all about rules versus learning. For decades, pretty much all software worked like a vending machine. It was all based on hard-coded rules. You know, if you press B4, then you get a bag of chips. If a user enters the wrong password, then show an error message. It's predictable, it's deterministic, and honestly, it's pretty limited. And the problem with that, of course, is that the real world, well, it's not a vending machine, is it? It's messy. Human language is filled with nuance and slang and ambiguity. Customer behavior is totally unpredictable. And a system that's just based on rigid if-then rules, it just completely breaks down when it faces that kind of complexity. So AI takes a totally different approach. Instead of giving it a rule book, you just give it thousands and thousands of examples. It's a lot like how you teach a little kid to recognize a dog. You don't give them a list of rules like, it must have 4 legs and a tail. No, you just show them tons of pictures of dogs. And eventually, their brain just figures out the pattern. AI learns in pretty much the same way. So here it is, side by side. This is the crucial difference. Traditional systems are deterministic. They follow rules. The same input will always give you the same output. But AI systems are probabilistic. They learn from data to find patterns and then make predictions. They can adapt, they can improve, and they can handle the messiness of the real world in a way rule-based systems never, ever could. Okay, so AI learns from data instead of rules. That's the big concept. But how does that actually translate into tools we can use at work? Let's break down the modern AI toolkit into 3 simple categories you can actually remember. Okay, first, you've got predictive AI. This type of AI answers the question, what will happen next? Think fraud detection on your credit card or sales forecasting. Second is generative AI. You've definitely heard about this one. It answers the prompt, create something new for me, like drafting that first version of an email or even making a presentation. And finally, the newest one on the block is agentic AI. This one responds to do tasks for me. So imagine telling it to schedule a meeting with 3 people, and it just goes out, checks all their calendars, finds the best time, and sends the invite, all on its own. Understanding these tools is the first step, but the next, and honestly the most important step, is putting them to work to get a real advantage. So let's wrap this all up by focusing on what this really means for you. I want you to really let this one sink in, because this is the key takeaway of this whole thing. The popular narrative isn't really about AI replacing humans. It's about AI augmenting humans. But, and this is a big but, the reality is that professionals who learn how to use these tools are going to be so much more productive and valuable than those who don't. So how do you even start? It's actually pretty simple. 1, start small with low-risk tasks like summarizing a document or polishing an email. 2, use it as a thinking partner to brainstorm, not as a replacement for your own brain. 3, and this is critical, always double-check any facts it gives you. It can be confidently wrong sometimes. And 4, be specific. The clearer your instructions, the better your result is going to be. And that brings us to the end. But really, it's your beginning. I want you to just pause and think for a second. What is one repetitive, time-consuming, or maybe even creative task in your job that you could use AI to help with, starting today? Is it summarizing meeting notes? Brainstorming ideas for a project? Polishing a tough email? Write it down. The digital coworker is here, and trust me, it's ready to get to work.